and welcome to another brand new edition. Of course, I'm still here. My name is Mohammed Yusuf Suleiman. You can call me Moiz. I'm not alone this afternoon as usual, or should I say this day as usual. I'm not alone this day as usual. I have Upe Waziri. I actually have Ayokla, and from whichever part of the world you are watching us this morning, this day, this particular day, I keep saying this morning, this afternoon. And from whatever part of the world you are watching us this day, I want to welcome you to today's show. Where today's show we'll take a look at three key issues. Number one on the menu is Kylian Mbappe deciding to remain at Paris Saint-Germain. That looks like a cliche. You know why? Because most people will tell you that very few times do players say no to Real Madrid. Now we can add to the list of Patrick Vieira and Co. that another player has actually said no to Real Madrid. That player is Kylian Mbappe. He has been speaking about the reason why he turned down the move to Real Madrid in favor of remaining at Paris Saint-Germain. Of course, we all know that money played a huge role in it. You can't do this thing without money. But we shouldn't hide away from the fact that he claimed that Paris Saint-Germain sold the projects to him. He claimed, but we know that project has cash written over it. And for that reason, Upi, let's start with Kylian Mbappe. Cash or projects?
Both. Let me go for both. I feel good to be here, Mr. Moiz and Ayok. I like that clincher that you dropped while you were speaking. Something actually kept him there, and that certainly has to be the cash. Everybody that we were speaking about it the other day, and then we were talking about how the dream, what the actual dream is the dream to play for Real Madrid. The dream is to actually have money and then move out of the trenches. He's already out of the trenches, but there's this level you can go away from the trenches that you know that you will never ever go back there again. And then that's the step Kylian Mbappe has taken. If he gets to win the Champions League with PSG, then he will say that him staying wasn't a bad idea at all. But if after 2 years he doesn't get to clinch the UEFA Champions League medal, then there's a problem. I still think he has a chance of moving to Real Madrid in the future, and which is quite possible because he's still very young. At the end of this particular contract, he might just be about 25 or 26. So maybe hitting the real peak of his career. That's if he's not at his peak already, and that's the way it's going to be for him. So he will be one of the very few players, maybe 1, 2, or 3, who have actually said no to Real Madrid. I'm just hearing Patrick Vieira for the first time.
First time?
This is the first time I'm hearing Patrick Vieira.
3 times, I think.
Now, Ayokla, take a look at Kylian Mbappe. The chance of going to Real Madrid, a team that has in time past been the springboard for several Ballon d'Or winners. A team that holds one of the key to winning the Big Ear Trophy, which is the UEFA Champions League. The most decorated in that very tournament. We just have to add that. Now, Mbappe turning them down for Paris Saint-Germain. A traditional team, a sleeping giant that is back on the rise. How difficult. Put yourself in Mbappe's shoe. How would you have taken that? Would you have taken a different decision from what Kylian Mbappe did? Don't forget the money part of it, the monetary part of it. Very important.
This is very dicey though, and thank you, Mr. Moiz. This is my debut on the podcast actually. So the Kylian Mbappe issue is kind of like a dicey one. It's project money. So it's both the project, the PSG Sporting project, and money at once. So I think it's project money. He stayed for PSG. He stayed like to play for PSG for I think reasons that is not really like on our plate to kind of like consume because you can't actually understand it. But the Real Madrid project, like you know, Madrid has pedigree, like Mr. Moiz said, the highest, like the most decorated club in Champions League history, 13th Champions League. You want to play for Real Madrid. He has made it known that is his dream actually to play for Real Madrid. Like Upe said, it's not too late actually. Maybe by the end of this deal at PSG, he will still the Real Madrid deal. It would probably be open for him to do. But I think at this point in his career, he just wanted something that would be solid, where he'll be the main decision maker probably. And I think that's the catch for him to still remain at PSG. The decisions probably they will have to consult him for some major decisions at PSG. And yes, the money is a huge factor.
Now, Upe, speaking about it, he said there is no iota of truth in the line that he would be the ones taking most of the sporting decisions at PSG. But of course, his renewal came with the sack of the sporting director of the team in Leonardo. That's not just all already. In that very interview where he revealed that he doesn't have control over the decision at the club, he did mention, or rather, he refused to rule away a move to Madrid in the future. He only said it would be disrespectful to speak about
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid when he just signed an extension.
And when he said that, the first thing that came to my mind was this guy still wants the Madrid move. It was the money that kept him. Money was a huge part of the reason why he said. And one of the things that actually kept on spinning in my head was the length at which PSG went to keep him, involving the French president, and I also had even
Mayor of Paris.
the Qatari, Emir of Paris, yeah?
Mayor of
Paris, and even the Qatari guys and all of that. And then you watch
the royal family from Qatar had a
Exactly.
chat with him.
Can you imagine? If you ask me, I was only mentioning Ronaldo should have that level of hype in football, but he has been able to play his cards well. Once Madrid is involved already, you already know you are talking about an elite club, probably, arguably, the number one club in world football, and then with all of their history and all of the things they've been able to achieve in world football, you say, hey, PSG knew that they were up against a very huge giant. So you can't, when it comes to a game of history in football and pedigree, you can't go toe-to-toe with Madrid. So you have to go through another route. And then taking the money route was the only way PSG were going to win. And then they had to leverage on so many things about. And then there was something very cheeky he tried to do during the interview, bringing Liverpool into the fold that even Liverpool also wanted. I think he just wanted to douse the tension and be like, okay, it wasn't just Madrid that wanted him. Another club that has so much history in Liverpool also wanted him, but I decided to stay at PSG.
Bringing his mother?
Exactly.
Bringing in his mother.
Hitting the emotional part of it with that, bringing in his mother and all of that. So I think all of these stories and then shenanigans, I think they'll go down in due time. When the season starts, and then he starts doing well, I think we'll forget, even if they win just
he even went off on the flyer on the day he announced that he was staying at PSG by slamming a hat-trick. I mean, and then making the Paris owners the Qatari owners to be like, whoa, we knew what we were doing.
Yeah, true.
Exactly. I mean, you just gave somebody a mammoth contract that made him the highest paid football ever in the history of football. That's if we are going by the figures being branded about. You just gave him that deal, and the day you giving him that very deal, few hours later he was hitting a hat trick for you. You'd be like, okay, this is the continuation of the project. But Ayokla, we know this about Madrid. If Madrid are like that spoiled kid who always want the latest shining toy. Of course, I know how kids can be, and of course I have one. You know. Apologies, you don't have any.
Apologies.
You don't have any. But I'm talking to you, so leave hope I'll come back to you. So I doubt if you understand. But there's this thing about Madrid. If Mbappe goes to the next World Cup, or maybe another European tournament, and smash it all, and has 1 year to go on his deal, Madrid will always tell you that there is always a second chance.
Yes.
Once Les Merengues is involved, the whites.
I think Real Madrid will come back for him if he smashes it at the next World Cup, the next 2 seasons. It doesn't matter the competition. If he's still smashing that, he still has it. Real Madrid will come back for him. I don't think Real Madrid want to go the emotional with it. I don't think Real Madrid want to go since he rejected us. Okay, let's talk about this for our entire history and all that. Real Madrid will want to come for him if he's still smashing it at PSG with the French national team or wherever. The position Kylian Mbappe is, I think one of the reasons why he made the decision he did was what Upe said earlier. I still think he has a Madrid future probably waiting for him. That would be probably the peak of his career. But he wants to do some certain things differently. I think he wants to be in the French League on and probably win the Ballon d'Or. I think he wants to stay at PSG and probably smash a lot of records. And at PSG, it's not a club that in the Champions League, in the European competition, it's not a club that has pedigree, traditional fan base and all. Compared to Real Madrid, I think he wants to do a lot of things at PSG first before he makes his first major move into the European echelon of football. And so, probably for Kylian Mbappe right now, I think probably is the best move. But time, like you said earlier, time will always tell.
Okay, now, you can't talk about Kylian Mbappe without talking about Erling Haaland. These two players are more like the poster boys of the future of football. Like, can we say that?
Yes.
Yeah. They are more like the poster boy of the future of football. When you mention Erling Haaland, you mention Kylian Mbappe, you're talking about two players who look like equal, who are viewed as the Messi and Ronaldo of the next generation. Viewed as, yeah. The Messi has to be Mbappe because Messi stayed at one place, which was Barcelona, while Ronaldo went the route of from Portugal to England, from England to Spain, from Spain to Italy. Now, Haaland from Norway to Austria, from Austria to Germany, from Germany now to Man City, now to England. Yeah. So you can draw parallel between Haaland's career move You can draw parallel with his career move and that of Ronaldo. And then let's not forget the physique as well.
Exactly.
Haaland look very much like Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of physique. I mean, he's built like Ronaldo. Mbappe is slightly taller than Messi, or a whole lot taller than Messi, but not the tallest of players as well. True. Mbappe loves cutting in from the left, and when Lionel Messi started off, he started by cutting off from the left.
Okay, from the left, right?
From the left, yeah. He was firstly a left winger. It was when they wanted to turn him into a monster that they made him a false number 9. The same false number 9 that Mbappe is being made to play right now at PSG. So you can draw parallels between Mbappe's career and that of Lionel Messi. And one thing is key about both of them. Messi started making his mark playing at a young age of 18.
Yeah.
At 18, Ronaldo was still an unknown quantity at Sporting Lisbon.
That's true.
Kylian Mbappe at 18 was an unknown quantity in Norway, playing with Leke James. Haaland, sorry. Leke James was even teammates to Haaland at Molde.
Wow, fantastic.
I have a question for you, Mr. Movies. I'm sure I want to know too. I was thinking, do you think if Haaland, if Kylian Mbappe now gets to win the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or in the next 2 years in PSG, will he still want to move to Madrid?
Yes.
And then, that's the first question. And then the second question is, if he gets to play his entire career at PSG, or even if he gets to leave when he's 26 or 27, will it be a dent on his career? We'll talk about and say most of his goals now for French league is gone.
Yeah, I think that will actually play out in the minds of several people. But you know, I've always said this goal now. The Edison Arantes, the Nascimento Pele never succeeded in Europe.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about that. But he's rated as one of the greatest footballers ever.
That's true.
Diego Armando Maradona is celebrated for world football on account of what he did at Napoli one season and what he did at 3 consecutive World Cup at international level, where you need like 8 to 9 games to make your mark.
Yeah.
So he's rated on the strength of that. Nobody. Can you sit down? Okay, imagine this. The real Ronaldo, permit me to use that word, Ronaldo de Lima, never won the UEFA Champions League.
Yes. Yeah. But he played for traditional big clubs.
But what did he win?
Nothing.
Go to game ratio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barcelona, PSV, Real Madrid.
Yeah. If you look at the team's heavy
The recognition he got were out of his individual efforts. And you know, goals that he scored at a higher pedestal, particularly 2002 World Cup. You know why 2002 World Cup was like, this is the end of Ronaldo. I mean, he's been out injured for like 2 years. Yeah. I mean, he was even nicknamed Fatso, which is the fat one, because he came to that tournament overweight and all of that. I mean, he was even looking obese. Yeah. But Luis Felipe Scolari said the moment he saw him with that half moon hairstyle, he said to myself that this man is on fire. And you know the story behind the half moon hairstyle?
No.
Okay, here's the story. He scored a goal, and one of his numerous children. Numerous, yeah. He had a lot of them. Roberto Carlos scored a goal, and his son watching on TV was shouting, "Daddy, daddy, daddy, daddy." Because then they were cutting similar hairstyle and they kind of look alike. So in order for his son to be able to recognize him a lot quicker, he had to do that half moon hairstyle. So that was the secret of that hairstyle. So that hairstyle now made him to stand out. So he did it for his son to be able to recognize him, and of course, indeed, at the World Cup proper, he stood out. He stood out. So sometimes some of these things would not like. Okay, look at Erling Brown Haaland now. I'm imagining in my head those Kevin De Bruyne crosses, those Riyad Mahrez ping balls into the box, those Phil Foden's well-charged, well-placed cutback, those Bernardo Silva high-octane kind of passes that will land at the striker's feet. I'm looking at Manchester City, João Cancelo. I'm looking at Manchester City, Zinchenko. Sometimes they just have this ball that is needing a striker to touch in the box. Now they finally have a fox in the box who can actually play off a number 9. His name is Erling Brown Haaland. People take a look at Erling Brown Haaland goal scoring statistics, but they don't take a look at his assist chart. It's also very high. Erling Brown Haaland is partly the reason why many people are saying that Jadon Sancho has a nerve-breaking assist record in the Bundesliga, because a striker who doesn't need much of service to penetrate, to do the damage. Now, when Jadon Sancho came to Man United, he will not play with strikers whom you need to more than spoon feed for them to finish.
It's on the plate.
On the plate. I mean, a midfielder who supplies the ball, your assist chart is as good as the man finishing off your chances.
Exactly.
But people don't see it from that angle. Now, be ready. if Haaland walks up as expected, be ready for Kevin De Bruyne to have 30 plus assists.
Probably he'll get to break that assist record held by Henry.
Thierry Henry. 20 goals, 20 assists.
Exactly. And there's something about Erling Haaland that is overlooked. I think his work rate. He has incredible
Work rate, yes.
He was bred in the pressing team. RB Salzburg.
Yes.
Down to Erling, back to Borussia Dortmund.
Yes.
All of these teams are pressing monsters.
And then he's strong. There's the way he goes about his game. He bullies people. I think he's also charismatic and arrogant. So and then you need all of that.
Yes, he's the type of striker. He's the type of player that I know I have it. Yeah. I know I have it.
And then he's very confident.
Yes, confident. So let me just do it. I know I have it. I don't need to prove anybody wrong. I don't need to do extra. I just know I have it. Let me just do what I know how to do, and I think that's where the arrogance part comes.
I wish him an injury-free career.
Free career.
I think okay. Now let's take a look at his injury record as well. A lot of people will talk about on the injury record of what's his name of Erling Haaland, but many people are taking their minds away from the fact that this is the fourth season that is actually having a major injury setback.
And then it is not. I was reading an article somewhere, and the writer was trying to explain that that's not common for adults his age. There's something called the growth spurt, and then people experience it. One of the players that actually experienced that was Welbeck. It's not something that's permanent. It just comes. He's just at the age now to stop.
Yeah, because we're looking at Ansu Fati.
Yeah,
Fati played several games to a point in time. His body just has to give it because Pedri too. But hey, this man is just 21. Look at the tons of goals he has scored.
He doesn't look 21 at all.
Doesn't look 21. Martin Odegaard at Arsenal, he's just 22. Look at, he's been playing professional football for 7 years.
At the age of 22. For forever.
I mean, you can remember Odegaard at Sociedad, Odegaard in the Dutch league, Odegaard for Madrid.
From when he was signed for
Odegaard
from
at age 15. I mean, he played in the Norwegian league at the age of 15. So sometimes when you pick too early, because Odegaard too was out injured for like 6 to 7 months of his growth. So that growth thing, once you get to a particular stage, you must suffer that breakdown. Particularly if your body. I mean, I asked somebody at 18, Upi, what were you doing?
I was hoping to go on radio one day.
At 18, I mean, think about it. No, look around you. Look around your surroundings. At 18, most of us were still not. You still don't have a clear-cut career path. Yes. But they at 18, they were already living their dream.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when you live into another country, at 18, already living their dream.
That's actually bold for an 18-year-old to live to another country. Yeah. When you look at it like this, what we are facing now, for an 18-year-old to live to another country to go and chase a career path, that's actually bold.
Then you look at the man who actually spotted him, Ralph Rangnick, a certain Ralph Rangnick. Yes. And then you look at the man who actually brought him into the molded first team, a certain Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Both of them handled Manchester United, yet he ended up at Manchester City. How about that?
The Manchester United thing when Erling Haaland was supposed to join, I think probably Ole didn't do much. Or probably the boy.
He said that the boy usually texts him, that they talk on a regular.
I think they were waiting for the right time. But
I wonder what they were texting about.
I was thinking. I think they were waiting. Man United were waiting for the right time, but you can't wait for the right time when your club is not going through the right channel. The club is not in the proper going through the proper path. So there's no way a player who is ambitious and then who has that level of goals and then the prospect and all of that, and then you expect him to come and join your club and be the one to try. No. I think he wouldn't even consider Man United. If there were 5 big clubs, if Madrid was after him, I think Liverpool also called City. I think even Chelsea, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If you look at all of these clubs, I think realistically United comes last. Yes, right. For somebody,
I think for it's not even the Haaland case. Look at the Jude Bellingham case.
Jude Bellingham.
The same thing. They would rather choose.
I think so. Jude Bellingham's case is kind of different.
They would rather choose.
I think United balk at the asking price for Jude Bellingham, feeling that it is excessive for an unproven talent who has only played in the English Championship. Then it was at Birmingham, and many people then were not comfortable because then United said they were going project youth.
Yeah. But again, you wouldn't expect Jude Bellingham to join United where he wasn't guaranteed game time. At Borussia Dortmund, he was almost certain of.
But are we ruling out the fact that Mineral, I mean, so rest in peace, was the agents of Erling Haaland? And Raula's relationship with Manchester United is like oil and water. They don't mix. Paul Pogba destroyed it.
But again, one thing is that when a player is good and then you want him and then he's under whoever the agent is. You have to make peace with the agent because he has what he wants.
But Manchester United were, sorry, Mr. Boyce, the Manchester United were hiding under the pretext of we don't want to work with him again and we don't want to splash like a lot of money for a player of that sort. I think that's one of the reasons, like one of the things that played a part in Manchester United not getting Erling Haaland. Like, we don't want to work with him again and we don't want to splash the cash because when we work with him,
but I clearly think you are scared of coming to Manchester United.
But you know what? United problem with Mino is that he was outspoken on several issues that we know and that we have been talking about. He said they need a sporting director. 2 years before they finally got one in direct Fletcher. Apparently, when he sat down with Ed Woodward to discuss some sporting project, it was why Jurgen Klopp turned down a move to Manchester United. That when he met with Ed Woodward, Woodward was telling him about how Manchester United, Alexis Sanchez broke the internet. How Manchester United broke the internet with Alexis Sanchez unveiling. So he wasn't selling a project to him, but when he met with Michael Edwards, when he met with Michael Edwards, the sporting director of Liverpool, the man sold him a project, a dream, and he bought it.
A football project. He's a football person.
A football project, yeah. You can't marketing, but that's what Ed Woodward represent, and that's what Mino made sure that people kept on complaining about. And that this man knows next to nothing about football.
Ed Woodward would rather tell you how good Manchester United are doing in the New York Stock Exchange, to tell you how good Manchester United are doing on the pitch of play because he doesn't know.
And you know one thing about Mino Raiola, he might not have played football ever in his life, but he's a football man all through.
Untrue,
It's a big project.
His players love him.
Yeah. And then I was reading something about him. He even became a millionaire at 19.
19 years.
Yeah, at 19, and then he has been in football since that. If you follow the story of how he was able to bring, what's his name, Pavel Nedved from Lazio to Juventus, and you know that this guy, he actually knows what he's doing. He has a clear, vision of what he wants to do.
He's the player's agent.
Exactly, he's the player's agent. He's a dream agent.
He's a dream agent.